Ben Shapiro recently made an excellent point about white privilege in that it's too vague to do anything about. If you want to identify, and I'm not right wing by the way, but I do like Ben Shapiro. If you identify a specific case of person A being racist against person B, whether it's a black person being racist against a white person, hate crimes happen twice as much. Are committed twice as much by non-white people, so that's much more likely. Or a case of racism of white person against black person. I'll be on your side just like Ben Shapiro would. I don't like that. If you have accusations and aims that are vague, like, white privilege is everywhere. Well, you prove it. What statistics are you giving me? What's the problem? What's the solution? What is your win condition here? When would you be able to tell me, yep, that's the problem, we've done this thing, and now it's fixed? What does that look like? If you have a vague aim, and you see this all over the place on the far left, a vague aim, Black Lives Matter, what's your aim? There's discrimination against blacks. Okay, give me statistics, give me hard evidence. Fuck whites. Well, no, that's not, what can you, there's no win condition. Colin, shitty American football player, Kaepernick, I'm going to take a knee. Why? Because racism. Yeah, but define the problem specifically, give me data, and tell me what needs to happen for you to fix this problem. No, you're not. You're just being vague. These are vague problems. Feminism. Fuck men, patriarchy. Okay, but specifically, tell me what the problem is. You need to be specific. Once you're specific, we can define it. We can see whether we agree that is a problem. We can agree on the solution. And then we can move to a point in the future where you say, yeah, that problem is solved. We no longer need to do it. And okay, you might say, well, the patriarchy is everywhere. I would argue the matriarchy is everywhere. In the West is now matriarchy. It's now biased against men more than women. But let's put that to one side. You might tell me, the patriarchy is everywhere. It's like, okay, if that's true, just give me some specific things you want to fix. Let's all work towards fixing those. Civil rights movement in the US, when they had segregation in the 60s in some states, they wanted to end segregation. Okay, here's the problem. You've clearly defined it. What do you want to do? You want to end segregation. And when we've ended segregation, this fight will be won. That's exactly what they did. It was won. That is, that's Martin Luther King. He's a good guy in all of this. The left hate Martin Luther King now because the left don't want a colourblind society, a post-racial society. The left want to fuck whites. They want straight white men to be at the bottom of a caste system. They want to discriminate. They don't want an end to black power. They only want an end to white power. Many on the left have said this. So these are the people who don't have a clear problem and a solution in mind and a path to get there. People with Che Guevara t-shirts, communists, anti-capitalists. Oh, you're an anti-capitalist? All right, what do you want? Do you want a world with no police, no border agents, no countries, no law enforcement of any kind, where a crazy lunatic comes and clockwork oranges your entire family in front of you? Yeah, that sounds great. No, it's just being against something because they want to be against something. They're not trying to actually enact change. They're not trying to actually do something good. They're just like being against something in a vague way for a variety of reasons. They may just be racist against whites. I think that's as a percentage. I think there's far more non-whites who are subconsciously or overtly racist against whites in the West, far more than the other way around, because whites have had anti-racism beaten into them throughout their whole life, which is great. If only black people could be less racist against white people than the other way around. Yeah, if you don't have a clearly defined problem, if you don't have a clearly defined solution, if you're just being vague, then not only is what you're doing useless and undefinable, it's probably a witch hunt. It's probably just an excuse to be a bigot, which I think most Black Lives Matter people are bigots, most feminists are bigots, Antifa are bigots. They all hate straight white men. They hate whites, they hate men. They hate Christians, Muslims, codified bigots. It says you have to be in their religion. Many groups on the left are just bigots, and they hide behind excuses. They put up a vague thing like the patriarchy, like white privilege, and then say, right, because of this, we're going to dehumanize whites and men, and we're going to put them as the Dalit class, the untouchable class at the bottom of society. As we know, white men have never done anything, never contributed anything to the world. Black women, founded the US, black women created the jet engine and the computer and the automobile, aeroplane. We're going to put these white men where they need to be, the Dalit class, because all they've ever done is exploit. They've only ever got anywhere because of white privilege, because they've exploited people. So we need to have them at the bottom of the society, sitting at the back of the bus. When the bus breaks down, we might need to get some of them. But until then, when the computers stop working and when we need some more computer programs, we may need to get some of these white men. But until then, we just need to dehumanize white men because of white privilege. White privilege is just almost a completely irrelevant thing. There's 100 types of privilege that are more important. Intelligence, being tall, being attractive, coming from a two-parent family, going to a good school, etc. Way, way more important types of intelligence. I think affirmative action, codified, systematic, societal discrimination against whites and men. I think that more than cancels out white privilege, which is genuine racism against black people, which is quite rare. And as I say, black people commit more than double the amount of hate crimes towards white people as white people do towards them. So why do we even need affirmative action?